Hey everybody, welcome to Fantastic Comics Presents. I'm going to move my microphone closer after the videos that I'm going to play. Stay tuned for some comic book fun and think about giving the video a like. I want to see how many we can get, so I'll start that off now. See you on the other side.
Hi, it's John Romita Jr. from San Diego Comic-Con. Fantastic Comics in Berkeley is the best shop in the world, hands down.
T-C. Hey, Mask!
お前ブルース・スプリングスティーンの五感に酔ってるよな。
言いたいだろ、ブルース・スプリングスティーン。
じゃあ3回言ってみる、ブルース・スプリングスティーン。
ブルース・スプリングスティーン、ブルース・スプリングスティーン。
言えてねえから。
言えてた。
What the hell are you two doing? It's called rocking out. You wouldn't understand, Dad. You're not with it. I used to be with it, but then they changed what it was. Now what I'm with isn't it, and what's it seems weird and scary to me. It'll happen to you.
At last, the greatest album of love songs ever recorded. You'll want to share them with someone special.
Why do birds suddenly appear?
Sung by the man who turned a personal affliction into a recording career, Don No Soul Simmons.
Just like me, they long to be close to you. Why do stars fall down from the sky every time you walk by? Just like me, they long to be close to you. She'd been sitting there and
So curl up by the fireside and listen to the non-threatening music of this master showman.
And honey, I miss you. And I'm being good. And I'd love to be with you. If only I could. Say, has anybody seen my sweet gypsy rose? Here's her picture when she was my sweet man.
Young lovers of any age will cherish this timeless collection of the world's most romantic ballads. And if you act now, you'll get free this bonus album, Don Simmons Down and Funky.
Jeremiah was a bullfrog, was a good friend of mine. Never understood a single word he said.
This two-record collection is not available in any stores, so order now.
Yes, he always had some mighty fine wine.
Bread, $2 extra.
$2, but everyone in front of me got free bread.
You want bread?
Yes, please.
$3! What? No soup for you.
Mom! Jenny ate my corn on the cob!
No, I didn't. He's lying.
Now, kids. Jenny, why don't you get us dessert?
I love you, little brother.
I love you, sis.
Beautiful kids.
Now, Desmond, you do smoke, ganja at home, don't you?
Oh, yeah, man. We smoke that shit all the time.
Oh, you should be coming on pretty soon, dude. How much do you smoke?
This'll be a little demonstration of that
Listen up. That was my skull. I'm so wasted.
Thank you, Hetty, thank you.
It's not Hetty, it's Headley Lamar.
The hell are you worried about? This is 1874. You'll be able to sue her.
Smart-ass ex-boyfriend. You know who I am?
A deeply full retail manager.
Renee's with me now. Okay? You got that? So don't be sniffing around her anymore like you try to do with that. Shit.
There goes the loan.
Listen to me. I got two things to tell you. All right? One, I don't like you. You see you every week in this mall. I don't like shiftless layabouts. You're one of these fucking loser mall rat kids. You don't come down here to work or shop. You hang out all day. Act like you fucking live here. Well, I have no respect for people with no shopping agenda.
Is this what's known as motivated salesmanship?
Kill or be killed, what is it going to take for people like you and Dingle to get along with the East Coast?
Look, I don't know, man. I mean, these guys got their fucking talking dolls and shit.
Questions, Professor Pickles? What? I ain't no Professor Pickles. I'm sorry.
Yeah, don't mess with the East Coast.
Look, I don't need you defending me, you howdy-doody looking motherfucker. I'm out of here, yo.
Yeah, I'm with him.
Man, step off.
She really did some job on you. You know how fucking nuts you are? Look what she did to you.
You fucked my wife.
What?
You fucked my wife.
How could you ask me a question like that? How could you ask me? I'm your brother. You ask me that? Where do you get your balls big enough to ask me that?
Let's get back to
Right, so these punks,
Yes.
I don't know if they wanted money or they wanted something more sexual. But it's a lucky thing I had my pieces.
Your pieces.
My guns.
Oh.
Anyway, I started blasting. Bang! Bang! Well, I don't see so good, so I missed. Then they ran away. I ran after them.
Okay.
Bang! Try to shoot them in the back. But I don't run so good either. Anyway, you guys all think I'm a hero, and I'll accept that responsibility.
All right, come out or I'll blast you out.
For shame, Doc. Hunting rabbits with an elephant gun.
Elephant gun?
That's right, Doc. So why don't you go shoot yourself an elephant? You do, and I'll give you such a pinch.
We're going to start our volleys. We hope you like the show. Now everything is ready. We're raring to go. We'll give you all the latest songs and dances full of pep. We're gonna start with high chuck. Just watch this chorus steps.
Originally settled as Ocean View during the 1850s, the city's population boomed with displaced
But in my own way, I am king. Hail to the king, baby.
Hey everybody, welcome to Fantastic Comics Presents. My name is Yule. Thank you for joining us for those of you that are new here, I already told you my name.
My name is
Yule Carter, comic book retailer in Berkeley, California.
That's right. And I've been telling you about the experiences on Sundays that I've been having recently, and just good fortune for being alive and around the comic store. And this Sunday, wow, for me personally, it was pretty awesome. I'm going to let you know what that's all about in a little bit. Some regulars know, people on Sunday. We had a real hoot of a time. Well, I did, putting them in their pecking order compared to the guests that we had on Sunday. It was pretty funny. Thank you once again for joining us. We're going to talk about comic books and all sorts of stuff. But for those of you that are interested, we are open 12 to 5 every Wednesday through Sunday. Rain or shine, really. I guess it depends on whether or not I got sick, which I did on a Wednesday not too long ago. If you want to contact the store via email, maybe for me to order something for you or send something to you, it's events@fantasticcomics.net, because I hardly ever give that one out. And it's the easiest way to really get in contact with me, other than by phone, and that number's right there also. Well, that's not so easy. A lot of times I'm out conversing because the store is so tight and cramped. It just, any moment I can stay outside, especially during rainy season, I don't want to be inside. And that phone is, we've had a string of bad phones. They just don't make phones like they used to. And why play ball? Why even though it technically isn't spring, baseball teams are going to their respective states to get ready for the season. The season, actually, there's going to be a 2-gamer in Japan. My Dodgers that I follow, they're going to be fighting against the Cubs. And this should be pretty exciting with all the Japanese players on both teams. Well, mostly the Dodgers, but also the Cubs. Should be good. And comics, coincidentally, right now, it feels like their spring training came, and with the books that are coming out this week, it feels like stuff's happening. So it's time. I mean, we got next month's coming, and then this is your spring training right here, everybody, because it's happening, and it's going to be hot and heavy. We've talked about some of the things that are going to be happening, like Jim Lee and Jeff Loeb coming back to Batman to do a Hush story, a Hush monthly. I don't know how I feel about the Hush bit, but it's excitement for a lot of people. There's a lot of people that maybe didn't read a whole lot of Batman afterwards, and they've gone away, but now they're finding out. Are they going to come back for this? Of course, that's what they're here for. They're here for Absolute Batman, Ultimate Spider-Man, and Batman Hush, probably. We're also going to talk about some comics from last week that did really well. Actually, why don't... Oh, no, wait. You can tell I'm not prepared for this one. We actually, since we talk about stuff in the store, one of the things that we talk about in the store, we're going to address right now. That's a little segment we call... I didn't watch a damn bit of wrestling. NXT had a PLE, and we decided not. We turned it on the day after, Jill and I was looking at the match rundown, and I was just thinking about watching this thing for like 2.5, 3 hours, regardless if I'm fast forwarding or not. And I decided not to. Some rerun of something else was better. There's going to be an Elimination Chamber event, PLE, for the WWE. And Sami Zayn is announced for going against Kevin Owens because there's a big riff right there with them. And I think it's going to be like I don't know, some gimmick I hate you match. So it should be good. Those guys do a good job. And something AEW. Tony Khan habitually listens to Jim Cornette and ignores everything he hears, supposedly. That's pretty much it. Maybe you can tell me something that you liked about wrestling. But Elimination Chamber's coming up. Wrong one. Oh man, that's wrestling for you, everybody. All right. Let us talk about some comics from last week that were worth a damn. Of course, mostly as a vendor, the first thing that I pay attention to is something that sells and has some steam, and I have to reorder, and people are putting themselves on a list for everything. It kind of becomes like the number one thing. I also try and parse, some other aspects. Maybe the book is good. Maybe it needs a little extra love. And even though the numbers aren't great, they're solid. Just something to think about. But I never put up something I don't think is worth anything. Somebody has told me something good about it, even if I'm not reading it. But again, sales are king. I can hate my favorite book if I can't sell it. Best of last week coming at 5. We have, I'm going to turn this off. Sellout, Moon Knight, Fist of Khonshu, number 5. There's a whole bunch of starting and restarting with Jed McKay continuing being the writer on the Moon Knight, but there are differences to the character in these different chapters. I fell off a long time ago. I read other Jed McKay books, and I've read some Moon Knight. Moon Knight just isn't for me, but I think his team books are pretty good. But yeah, so Moon Knight. Let me turn. All right, very good. Next up, we have Geiger, number 11. So Geiger, I have upped my numbers on. It wasn't a complete sellout, but it only has a couple left. And there is some heat that I've heard from the 10th issue. There was a second printing of it. I didn't get a lot, but I sold those out. I sold number 10 out. I guess there was an appearance or first appearance of a character. Something big happens in 10. Geiger, Jeff Johns. I think it's something to pay attention to. This Ghost Machine bit might not be going away anytime soon. And Gary Frank, he's one of my favorite artists for sure. All right, next up. Coming in at 3, Bug Wars, Jason Aaron. This wasn't something I expected to have a lot of left over. And also, I wasn't really interested in getting extras on the shelf. And it's already going to a second printing, which may be a little bit more about, Image and what they do as far as their print runs are concerned. But this is, I think, a 6-issue miniseries written by Jason Aaron with art by X-Men's Mahmoud Asrar. I think he did X-Men, right? And Bug Wars. Next up, we have Absolute Batman, number 5 in the second spot. Absolute Batman is a juggernaut. And regardless of how the other Absolute books are doing, I don't think any of them can surpass Batman, which is kind of like pretty much what happens in the store and in regular DC comic books. I can't think of a time where something that wasn't event driven that possibly sold more than a Batman book over at DC. And coming in at number 1, what could be bigger than Batman? Chances, I could put Transformers up, obviously. It does really well in my store, and we're going to have a wheel spin for the 1 in 50 variant for my customers that purchased it in just a little bit. I know it's a week late. But what could be better than Absolute Batman? Well, this week was a book I should have ordered more. I reordered it, so I'm going to have more in. Probably when I open the store Friday. I should have them, and maybe earlier. Nonetheless, One World Under Doom, #1. It's a miniseries, I think, of 9 issues, written by Ryan North, who does the Fantastic Four books, and R.B. Silva. And R.B. Silva is a really good artist. And Doom's a real popular villain, and he's Sorcerer Supreme right now. So, One World Under Doom. And there's going to be some tie-ins to that coming out this week. But yeah, One World Under Doom. It did really well for me, and I felt like I needed to get this back in stock like ASAP. And I did that. Well, I mean, I put the order in for it, you know. You can only do so much. But yeah, I should be getting some of those in, and I'm pretty excited. And I haven't even read it yet. In fact, none of those books that came out this week were something I think I read. But, you know, my customers speak. And One World Under Doom was the #1 book as far as the best of last week. All right. Let me get that picture down. Let me get this picture up. You know, I was looking at previous episodes, and I know with the, I'm not just talking about the moving in the chair and like the refocusing of the camera, but like the comic books behind me, I feel like are showing up, but I'm just super blurry. And I guess that's probably more because of lighting. Maybe something like that, but who really needs that, right? Huh, did you answer my poll? Can we get to 100 likes? There's no way, right? Over 100 people regularly watch this show for just a little bit, at least. And since I thought I could throw that up there at the beginning, we'll see what can happen. Supposedly it's important, but do I really need any more people watching us? I mean, it gets really, really busy sometimes with you guys chatting. And also, I'm really stupid and pay attention to a lot of it. Let's see if I get to... Eric O'Sullivan was here early. Happiness is beating Fantinuum to the first live chat. Oh, I love that. East Coast, West Coast rivalry. I'm a simple creature. Boops for Gizmo. Gizmo, hey, Transformers #17 last week is my example of why cereal floppies are still great. Awesome. Jagron 2. Oh, mighty Yule Carter. I love this start. Please tell me, oh, tell me, the one good reason we can have for Gwen Stacy original coming back as a psycho murdering Gwenpool. Give me retailer logic why this is good. Because people might buy it? I mean, you mean as a retailer? It's only as good as the art. How's that? I don't know anything about Gwenpool. I don't care. And most stories ever since the beginning story, like the first time you saw Gwen's boot on a cover, what was that, like 151? No, why would you say that, Yule? That was a brain fart. Cheers. Someone be like, oh, that fucking poser. Perch did a video where he said poser, and it's like, oh, God, now it's in my head. You can tell how old a person is that uses that sometimes. I can't tell you anything about this because I don't care. I care about people wanting to buy it. And if it's got, who would I want? I have a customer that always buys Artgerm covers in multiples, to the point where I just order them from him, and he usually buys them. Never has really stuck me with any of them. That would be somebody. I'm sure there'd be a whole bunch of covers. J. Scott Campbell would be good. I don't know. I don't think there's any continuity thing with Gwenpool that can be real. I think you shouldn't worry too much about it. Go read an old... Holy cow. I just read New Defenders 136 and 137. And Gargoyle was imprisoned by this Afghani wizard or something. Afghani is a dog, right? A wizard from Afghanistan.
and they're fighting the Russians, and they're like ragtag groups, and this guy's like imprisoned the gargoyle, and the gargoyle is doing his bidding, even like things he didn't know he could do, like create gold and throw fire and stuff like this, or lightning. Anyway, it's really good. It's two-parter, but if it was out now, people would be screaming crazy bloody murder about the politics in this issue. And they'd be like DEIing it and all this other stuff, you know what I mean? But it was a crazy story for me as a 15-year-old, and I think even now it's still crazy, and it's kind of ballsy when you look about it in the past. So, and not only that, there were some really silly issues. I mean, anytime Marvel did Assistant Editors Month, anytime DC had an annual with somebody from a different country, Fantinium, yo, there was a preseason. My friend, you were in the preseason. Now we are going, the season's starting. Joey Pill, hello. Well, I did mention that it was going to pick up towards the end of February, and then in March, it's on, it's on. All right, let's see. Illithid lore. There's no good retailer logic to do anything with Gwenpool. Very small sales for me. Very small sales. It would be mostly art inside and cover. Maybe like if James Stokoe was doing a Gwenpool, you would buy a Gwenpool. You know what I mean? I have customers that would, if Nick Klein was doing something with Gwenpool, I've got customers that will buy that. But who are they going to put on it? Some manga inspired artist? You're not asking to sell it. All right, let's see. I'm doing this little skip ahead. They're training me not to want to just read DC Comics. Yeah, but then people are bitching about that Harley Quinn thing. And it's like a joke one-shot book is not the end-all be-all, or else Batman would never have succeeded to the levels of the success he's at, if only because of the Christmas song, and definitely because of Adam West Batman. I mean, running around Gotham with the bomb. Oh, I can't throw it in here. There's a bunch of dogs. Oh, I can't throw it over here. There's a baby. Oh, I can't throw it over here in the alley. That's where my parents died and someone's getting mugged. That would have killed Batman. You know what I mean? So funny, stupid stuff is okay. It just, Yule, are you, dude? I am so anti social media. Like Facebook was always kind of on the outs with me, but what is it? X, I haven't been on in probably like a month. And I know I have people like Wes trying to contact me. But like I've been in chats for his show, and I've let him know. I mean, let him know that I'm alive. I just can't get on there. I just, there's something about it I just can't do. Hit the like button if you want to know why. You don't want to know why. Dwayne Muth. Greetings, Yule. Newsflash, Gwen Stacy never left. Circus clown attraction Spider Gwen. That's right. Spider Gwen is a different Gwen. It is a different Gwen. Oh man, you guys going on Stephanie Phillips. Stephanie Phillips, there's nothing good to be said about her writing. Not the easiest to reach by phone, it's true. Well, what can I say, man? They not here for 8 deaths of angry Peter Parker in ASM. Whew. That story was kind of questionable at first. And with so many other people working on it, that Justine Ireland's doing fine issues is just... So this is his problem. He has to die 8 times or else he loses. The question is, can he? I mean, I don't know what he can do. He can't quit. They come after him and kill him. So it's destroying him mentally. And maybe it's going to signal a change into the Spider-Man #1, and we'll understand where he's coming from after this storyline. But it's been a rough one. I won't. It's just too many moving parts with people that aren't supposedly the writer, and it's like, get it over with. It's like, this is obviously just filler stuff. WrestleMania season is here. Who will win the Elimination Chamber? Why, I would suggest it's going to be CM Punk, right? Him versus Cody is the match that I think people want to see. There's too many people that don't want to see Roman Reigns versus another champion. We know we're going to get Roman Reigns, but let's hope it's more family oriented. Of course, Jay's in the main event of one of the WrestleManias going up against Gunther. That's going to be cool. Tony Khan also managed to piss away any hope of building a fan base in Australia. Holy cow. I do listen to Pro Wrestling Bits and some Jim Cornette from time to time. You know what? I'll put some of Yule's favorites. Pay attention to them. They're not all YouTube. Going on down below now. One of the favorites is a YouTube channel, and I'm going to play a video of something. Oh, here he is. You know what? I got to just do it right. Oh, well, no, I'll get to it when I get to him. Your Turf is Mine. I went to a live SmackDown back in the mid-90s. It was fun. It is fun, but then there's that other show that you probably have to watch also. Have to, but I don't know. I had to go out to San Jose. I guess it was okay the one time. I didn't have to drive. I remember going to SummerSlam with Hogan. Oh, yeah, we were talking about that one, weren't we? That was the one where Shawn Michaels was bumping like a fish out of water. Hilarious. Fist of Khonshu is rocking right now. Excellent. I did not understand why Moon Knight and Daredevil needed a new issue one with the same writers. And in the case of Daredevil, I do believe the same artist. Maybe even Moon Knight. I think that had like Capuccio also. Not near Mint. Remember, Moon Knight got 2 #1s in a year. That's right. Check this out, though, everybody. Not Near Mint made a video based off a live video on the Not Near Mint channel. And I'm going to share it right now. So don't claim this. I got stooges and stuff that are causing me problems. But you should go check out his channel, especially. Oh, my God. Whew. I know I have it. Let me see. Damn, I thought I brought it up. Oh, here it is.
Those that have not gotten this, oh, hey, kitty. If anybody has not gotten this Batman Annual Issue 2 from the DC, this portion in time, do pick this up. Do read this. It's fantastic. Let's see what other people are saying on the chat right now. Oh, kitty, I know you want to come up there. Maybe after the show. All right, so let's see. But wait, there's more. There's always more. Lady F is the new Tom Bombadil.
Oh, no. Kitty.
Of course that had to happen live.
Oh, Kitty, what have you done? What have you done, Kitty?
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
That hurt. That hurt. Like a lot.
Oh, my balls are in my throat for you.
There was a time when my brother and I were doing videos for the store, just telling about things that are coming out the next day. And we had our friend was editing it, and it was kind of forced upon us, but we were doing it. And he got one of the Ultimate Comic Spider-Mans that had a certificate signed by Stan Lee, and he was showing the audience. It was a tape, but we were showing the audience how you could tell. And he pulled the comic book up within the bag because it's all, you can't see it, and you could feel the extra weight of something that wasn't the comic book. And so there it's the certificate. And as he was showing it, he dropped it, and the corner, total ding. Hilarious. Here's another vote for Geiger. Bug Wars was great, Fiddle Chip says. Excellent. Good to know. How long before Doom renames it the Gulf of Doom? Oh my God. I think that would be pretty good. Joaquin, sup with it. ASM 142, 143, Gil Kane cover. Thanks, Dwayne. Jim Lee doing Gwenpool, LOL. Jim Lee doing anything for Marvel. I think he re-signed with DC by a lot, and it's just never going to happen. They're just keeping him so that he can't do an X-Men. Seriously. Fart Comics and Gorgeous Gwen. Oh, the humanity. Social media is amazingly boring. Being too connected isn't natural. I watch a lot of the YouTube videos and I have no problems leaving a comment. I don't know. I sometimes have a little conversation with people doing that, but usually, just like in all the other ones, I'm ignored. It is what it is. I don't know. Somehow I just don't relate to the kids. I don't know. I'm too much like part store owner. Like, it was ingrained in me from the previous owner, or the owner of Comic Relief when I worked there, that you don't use negatives to talk about stuff. And I know I slip into that here. I'm just trying to like be me. But, when you're selling, it's like you only accentuate the things that are positive about the book, even if you don't really particularly like it, because you're probably talking to someone that does like it. And the last thing you need to do is dissuade somebody from purchasing something, especially in a comic store. There's a lot of people that talk about that. Now, I have had conversations with people. I'm like, then you don't need to buy it. You don't really need to buy this. I know what you want. And this thing is extra stuff that is just not going to be anything that you care about. If you want something, pick this up. And, you just kind of like lead them into another situation. But I also have, you got to cut people off sometimes. Oh, sorry, Yul. I'm channeling my inner West right now. Oh, I understand. Still can't believe this happened. Was it really as bad as all that? All those books look like they landed flat. Cats, Also, you were going through comments. You notice I'm not doing anything. Sometimes I'll have a drink in my hand, but that's it. Hey, I will say one thing. World Under Doom number 1 was an all right 7 out of 10. All New Venom number 3 was all right 6 out of 10. Dude, I love that All New Venom. When everybody was bitching about that brat telling Paul off, I thought this was the greatest thing I ever read. I mean, I'm totally okay with this. It's everybody is hating on it. Good thing my destruction is so cute. Oh, well, that's for sure. I know what you want. LOL. Yule does that to me all the time. That's not true. I put things in his pile and say, this is like other things that you've got. You're not, you don't need to get that. Now, when I order something specifically to get to something, then then we'll have a problem. Table was directly to my left and the screen in front of me. Took my eye off for a second. That's all it takes, 1 second. Yeah, one of my birthday books, I was looking at it today. I got tape on it and it was fucked, but what are you gonna do? It makes it rare. Throw your comics away. It makes mine rare. All right. Speaking of rare comics, we're going to be having a sale on the 23rd of March. And I'm going to show you just a snippet of some of the good things that are going to be coming out. I've already done the pricing. I use the different colored dot method. So like you're going to have to like figure it out. I'll have like little banners or whatever made. Obviously not in black and white. But I have a small little box right here full of comics, and I'm going to show them to you.
No! What's in the box? Whatever you do, stay away! What the is in the box? Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, play the song.
Got a short box of comics right here. I'm not going to show you every single one. Suffice it to say that the condition of these comics are VF high, higher than VF. And I'm taking the books, and let's just say it's like a $50 book. There's a good chance I'm probably selling it for like $20, $25. There's some I'm actually writing in the price, but even now it's still lower than Guide more often than not. I have a giant-sized X-Men #2. It's reprints of the Neil Adams comics, and getting all those Neil Adams comics it can be very pricey. But this one is pricey too. But not as if you get all of them. So I have, I think, an entire run of Spider-Woman. The last issue is a photo cover. Look at that. Marvel was experimenting with these really crappy photo covers, and they got someone to dress up as the Killer Moth, or Gypsy Moth, I think her name is. We don't call her that anymore. I think Leia Loha was in this issue, writing or drawing this issue. The ending is so horrific. Like, I was still a believer back then. And a story like that, where it seemed like her spirit, I don't want to give it away. She doesn't just die. You know what I mean? I don't know about Chris Claremont bringing her back, but let's see here. We got number 42. The bags are good, but they've been in the bags a while. Some really great covers. And you're like, all right, yeah, but come on, Yule. Do you have 27? Sure do. What is it? The Brothers Grimm, right? Oh, this is the Enforcer. Anyway, there's a ton of Spider-Woman. My goodness gracious. Number 10. You're like, God, can't you just get to number 1? Number 1. So that's like almost all this box right here. What else do I have? Oh, thank God. She-Hulk only had 25 issues. The Savage She-Hulk, mind you. This is the introduction to the character that had the television program and the brother, He-Hulk. If I remember, that's what his name was, He-Hulk. There's some really good Michael Golden covers. Oh, there's one. Bam. Who has the gall to smack the shit out of She-Hulk? That broad does right there, Blondie. And you're like, all right, here's number 6. Cool. It's got Iron Man on it. But does he have number 1? You darn tootin', I have number 1 right there. So there's like a run of She-Hulk. And then, oh my goodness gracious. So there's more coming next week, but here I have interesting X Factor, number 10. It's got the great Marvel border cover. Let's see. These are just Peter David, Larry Stroman, Joe Quesada. None of these are special. but it's just one of the things that, there's a small run of that I have that are going to be coming in. It's going to be Bronze Age or a little bit after Bronze Age stuff, and a lot of DC, a bunch of Marvel ladies. It's time to prove that, you can handle all that stuff that you said you used to like or wanted to like. And you can get it for a steal March 23rd. That's right. So that's the big sale. Mike is going to be working that day downstairs with you. And then I'm going to be the Monday, the 31st, I'm going to be working over at the Escapist for a few hours. So this is very strange. I can't believe I've agreed to do this, but like, oh, hey, Yule, would you like to work on your day off? Oh, sure. I'd love to work on my day off. Good. Would you like to work at somebody else's store? Mike's just a grunt. You know what I mean? What am I? Oh, this is weird. All right, let's see here. It's all good, Yule. Gotta do what you gotta do. You're right, I gotta do what I gotta do. A good LCS owner will ring you up, take things off your pile, add others because he knows you. Well, so case in point, a lot of times I would not put annuals in for people. Or if so like let's say a person's new and they're getting into Batman because of the Jim Lee Jeff Loeb story. And that's pretty much the only thing they're getting. Okay. Maybe they ask me to order something for them, something that's tangentially, and it's just going to be Jeff Loeb, Jim Lee. It's not the other people going to be involved. So if an annual should come out during that time and it has nothing to do with Hush or nothing to do with Jim Lee or Jeff Loeb, I don't think there's any reason to get it for that person. But if this is the person that doesn't just get Batman, but gets Detective and all the other Batman books, and they're getting the fucking annual put in, you know what I mean? And that's the thing, you can't get that. You can't get that online service in quite the same way as you can by coming into the store. And it is so much to keep track of. You'll see in the next week's comics. I'll tell you which one I screwed up on. Let's see here. That polybag is 1998. Mylar is cool now. It's true. So expensive books. I also press comics from time to time. And recently I did a Swamp Thing. This is yesterday. So let me show you what it looked like. Here it is. Boom. So there's the Swamp Thing. And excuse me. You're like, all right, that's not that big a deal, a slight roll and whatnot. But you're like, oh, wait a second. Maybe there is a roll there. And you can take a look at that that comic and the way the back looks, and you can see all those pages. So I pressed the comic book, and I remember when I told my dad about pressing comic books. You can see on the lower right how it's all screwed up also. I told my dad about this on air when I had him on the show. And I said, they press comics now, and I've been doing that. He's all, press comics. I'm like, yeah, put them under heat and get the wrinkles out. And he's all, well, that's bullshit. It is bullshit. But you can take a look at what the back looked like. And now, because that was so severe, I'm going to show you right here what it looks like. And so it still has a bit of paper showing. This is when you don't wear a white shirt. But yeah, so it's a lot better. And, if a person really wanted to, they could probably press it again. But It's already a significantly better book. Mylar, baby. Now it's an even better book. Because, as some of you know, I've said that Mylar is beer goggles for comic books. Amen. It's like, you go to a club and it's all dark in there. And when you're leaving, it's like a totally different person. My goodness. All right. It's like, Charlotte Flair. Nice batch of comics, Yule. Thank you very much. How's your father? Evening, Yule. Evening, you. Oh, yeah. Black Panther. Interesting. I frequented Escapist comics back occasionally. Yeah, it is interesting, isn't it? Good to see you, man. I hope everything's going good on the East. It's not East Coast, the South. Anything, past Texas to me is just East. Let's see here. Do you wet the comic? I do. With the steam, yes, I do. It makes it more pliable. So I like to do it. Mylar is a push-up bra and glitter on the titties. It sure is. Yeah, Jagron. It's cold in like the entire country this week. I thought it was the last few days. Ooh, baby, they've been nice. Sunday was so nice. Let me tell you about Sunday. So Dane comes by, and we usually have a whiskey outside, and so that's why I didn't answer the phone. It's so loud with the traffic. It's only one lane going one way, one lane going the other. It's primarily a residential street for most of the street, but it's MLK and it's a major street. And even with the electric cars, it still has got enough of a hum. I can't hear the radio. I can't hear the phone. And you would probably say, maybe you should care a little bit more. And I'd agree. But if for any reason I wasn't sitting outside when I wouldn't have met this gentleman that I met. And I'll tell you that is in a sec. But, there's going out and having conversations with the customers that are there. And I learned all the way from when I worked at Borders. When you work the information desk, you are helping the person that you're helping at that time. So if you're helping somebody on the phone and a person comes up to your face, you ask them to hold on, you're helping somebody on the phone. Or if you're helping somebody in their face, you answer the phone and say, I've got to put you on hold. And somebody either picks it up or they're still there or they hang up. But you help that other person to the best of your ability. And you walk them to their section sometimes too, if I remember. So I'm kind of that way when it comes to the store. And although I don't necessarily have a bunch of customers always in the store at once, some of helping them out is helping them out of the store. And again, I tell you, I'm very claustrophobic in the tight area. And although I try to make it wide open and clean up and everything, comic books persist. And damn, do they persist. So I'm out. So on Sundays, I have a drink with Dane. Maybe my buddy Ryan comes by. Maybe there's some guitar stuff going on. There's people from across the street that I have conversations with. We had a flood on Thursday. It was really rainy. And we have like our back issues and overstock in our bathroom is downstairs. And it's a really garbage area and technically not really something that anybody should go into. I mean, if you're tall, you're going to hit your head. It's not like I have an elevator or anything going down there or anything. It's just for me. It's just my store. But how did it leak? The water didn't come from downstairs all the way down in, to the floor in the bathroom and elsewhere. It didn't emanate from the toilet. I flushed the toilet, nothing happened. Everything's good. There's no water coming from anything. There's pipes places. They're kind of exposed. It's scary. But none of them are sweating. None of them are leaking. Under the sink, everything's great. Check the valve. In one of the very first episodes that we had where we were talking about moving over to the new location, there's like kind of it's a poop valve is basically it. And it gets all messed up because the trees underneath screw up the whole system and it can back up. So like once a year, it needs to be cleaned out. It's been cleaned out. It's fine. No leaking. Everything's great. Thank goodness. Where is this water coming from? So I have a conversation with Lee, and he comes on over from across the street and he says, how's it going? And usually I'm kind of the guy that would say, it's going fine. Everything's fine. It's the way, you just get out of that stupid conversation, right? But, Lee's cool. He's a friend. And I said, yeah, it's not so good. He's all, why is that? I said, my floor downstairs is leaking. And I don't know where it's coming from. He said, let me tell you. And he knows everybody's names. He's all, do you know this person? I'm all, no. He's all that. Oh, Bill's wife. Yeah. She had trouble in her garage across the street, kind of like higher up. They get sun and everything. We don't. She has had leaking before, and they did this whole like pump thing, and it still has problems. And you know what the deal is? There used to be a big old creek and in Berkeley, lots of water. It got dammed up and diverted and whatnot. And like if you go to the college, you'll see the water and you're like, oh my God, where's this river coming from? It's coming up way down below and paved off. And anyway, he was saying what it possibly is it's so overfull right now because we've had a lot of rain. It's seeping up out of the floor. Oh, really? But of course, we had construction right in front not too long ago. And this is the first time it's happened ever since I've been in there. So crazy stuff, man. Do you rent or own your store? The person I rent from owns the store, and it's fine. I didn't, when I called him to let him know, it wasn't like, you better get your ass down here and fix it. It was just worry and like, oh my God, I don't know what this could possibly be, but we should definitely check it out and see if it has something to do with the other places in the area. Because technically our store is part of a homeowners association where other people live. I don't know how I got myself in this mess. Oh my goodness gracious. All right. How did I get myself in this mess? I'm going to have to bring the pictures up.
Well, it's just an old run-of-the-mill Wednesday. The calendar's full of them.
Oh, it's true. The calendar is full. I forgot it was a short one. Oh, you know what? We can go back to that. It's raffle time. All right, here we go. New video.
Bill, spin my arm.
Come on, come on, come on! Come on, come on! I win a Winnebago. I win a Winnebago! No! So close. I spun it a little too hard.
It's true, he did. Spun it a little too hard. All right, this is going to be for Transformers number 12. 1 in 50 Corey Walker variant. There's going to be 2 spins to get to one final spin. It's a lot of people here. How can a book that sells this well not always be in the top 5 list? I was trying to teach you about other books, that's why. Joseph. All right. Very good. Somebody remember Joseph's name. Now, anybody that bought the 1 in 10 variant is going to have a chance to get in that final spin. And only 3 people bought the possible well, there's 5 that I buy. You know, figure it out. So only 3 people took advantage of the situation. And that's why you see their names so often. Good luck. Oh, yeah, Steve. Yeah, very good. Very good. Very good. That's excellent. Let's just get this right here. And let me play a little video for you. All right, here we go. Between 2 people, Joseph and Steve. Good luck. Good luck to you all. Man, okay, we'll think about it some other time. Steve's won before. I think Joseph's won before. So this is Steve. Fantinuum, everybody. My goodness gracious. All right. Congratulations. Congratulations. You, my friend.
You will win a ha ha. You will win a ha ha.
All right. Now let's play the video.
Well, it's just an old run-of-the-mill Wednesday. Well, the calendar's full of them.
That's right. But you know, during that whole time, I still didn't bring up any of the fucking pictures. That's okay. I got something already loaded up, but let me get these and we'll see how that goes. All right, first up, these are comics I can't guarantee I'm going to have in tomorrow. Why is that, Yule? Well, it's because they are Diamond Comics. And Diamond Comics, well, let me just tell you how it went last week. I do cash on delivery because I got in dire straits with Diamond back in the day. Let me use my face for this. I got in dire straits with Diamond. And I paid them off. And I'm really happy about that. But I've always kept myself with them on cash on delivery from now on. It's kind of a hassle. Sometimes I'm not at the store and I have to wait the next day, later in the day, before I finally get it. But recently, I've been getting it day or even day later. So not until Friday sometimes have I gotten stuff. And sometimes I get stuff early before I'm even supposed to, so I don't put it out. Gets a little confusing from time to time. And you're not quite sure if you're getting everything. And sometimes you're paying some bills for things that you're like, what? And everything's all fucked with them. But overall, it's pretty easy dealing with them. It's just not so timely. All right, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I need number 4. Let me just put that right there. All right, that's pretty seamless. So Diamond, starting off. Space Ghost. Coast to Coast. Oh, no, Space Ghost. David Pepose and some artist. Coming up next, we have Yule's like, oh, look at all these stupid IP old ass cartoon comics. I don't think I care about any of them. And then they pull out the Herculoids, and it's like, well, all of a sudden, you know what I mean? And then when they do Thundar the Barbarian, pencil me in. And then also coming from Diamond, for how long? Conan the Barbarian, new artist. So some people aren't going to be quite so happy. But I think overall, Jim Zub's a great Conan writer, and the series has been really good, regardless of who does the penciling. All right. Books that I know I have. Daredevil Unleash Hell. This is one of those bag books that has censored cursing and really lame violence that could have been done in anything. I guess like severed hands and stuff like that, but I don't know. It's not really that hardcore, you know what I mean? It's no Marvel Max. Power Fantasy number 6 by Kieran Gillen and Caspin Wierngard. I don't know how to say his name. That's coming out. Godzilla Heist number 1. It's a new Godzilla miniseries. I get a certain amount of them. Some people like them. Some people, this is like one of those situations where I know somebody likes a character, so they want this. Weapon X-Men number 1. It's at least a 5-issue miniseries. Look at those characters on the screen. We've got Cable and Deadpool and Chamber and Thunderbird and Wolverine. Written by like my fave writer, Joe Casey, and art by Chris Cross. He's very good. These are 90s guys, 2000s guys. They've done some of my favorite books. Chris Cross on Captain Marvel with Peter David and anything Joe Casey basically writes. He did an interview with Wes over on Thinking Critical, and it's about an hour long. Pretty good interview. And for the first time, those two getting together, I thought they did a good job. And it was all about selling Weapon X-Men and, how it's tough. And, talking about like creator-owned stuff and not always getting maybe your just desserts. Talking about people that do. And then even those people sometimes aren't so crazy about what they get. The companies are companies. And Joe Casey talks about putting effort into this, putting all his effort into this because, it's what it's all about. And he wants to put a cool book together. And I think if you like any of these X-Men characters, you should probably check it out. I've already read it. It's good. It's got a lot of Deadpool in it. It's going to be a turn off for some people, but hopefully the Cable and the Wolverine and the Chamber and the Thunderbird can make it a little bit more palatable. I think he is very important to the story, and Doom isn't, at least not right now. World Tree number 13 that comes out. It's a James Tynion book. Thunderbolts Doomstrike under the One World Under Doom banner for Marvel. Kelly and Lansing are writing it. I don't think that's Simon Bianchi. Zatanna number 1. I think this is a miniseries. I forget who's writing it. Let me see if I can do that. No, I don't know who's writing it. It doesn't matter. It's Zatanna. Don't worry, Carl. I got one for you. Doom Academy, One World Under Doom. I love the Strange Academy characters. And I don't know exactly what this means as far as the Doom Academy. I guess he's like, got some students or something. Maybe those students. Is it going to be in Louisiana? Anyway, cool Lobos cover. And Pascal Ferry is doing the art. I love Pascal Ferry. And yeah, don't worry, Carl. I got this one for you too. G.I. Joe number 4, part of the Energon universe. Joshua Williamson and Tom Riley working on the book. And yeah, these are pretty good. I read the first 2 issues. I need to read the third, obviously, but I enjoy it. I'm not really reading all the Energon stuff, but a lot of people are really, I said really a lot. People are enjoying Void Rivals quite a bit. X Factor number 7, again, another One World Under Doom banner. Mark Russell is writing it. I'm about an issue behind Bob Quinn on art. I think it's been doing really good. I find it interesting and somewhat like Peter Milligan's Ecstatics back in the day. It's one of those where glory hungry executives are putting the characters out there to be a good face to mutants, even though there's all sorts of stuff going on. And mostly it's Havoc and Polaris, but there's all these other characters too. I like it a lot. I think it's good. Incredible Hulk by Philip Kennedy Johnson. Nick Klein's back on art. I really don't need to say more than that. I've been enjoying this series since the beginning, and even with Danny Earls on art, Irish Pride, Nick Klein's really superlative, and you should check this book out. Aliens versus Avengers. I don't think it's actually late. It's just comes out when it comes out. Also, I knew it wasn't coming out for a long time. So anybody that thought it was, well, Saad Ribic is worth the wait, even at his worst. And I only read the first issue, sold out of the second issue, never read that. I assume I'm going to sell the third issue, but I did have my numbers, and I do have a reprint of 1 and 2, if I'm not mistaken. Jonathan Hickman is the best superhero writer in comics, bar none, right? Who's better? Seriously, who's better? Maybe Jeff Johns, I guess. It's not Ram V, although a lot of people are telling me how much they like New Gods, and the art is excellent. That Evan Cagle, who's mostly a cover artist until now, if I remember. I mean, I don't remember anything he's done before this and covers. Anyway, New Gods, number 3. Batman and Robin, year 1, number 5. Mark Waid and, God, man, so many good illustrators in comics these days. Even now, Chris Samney. The Bitterroot book came out, the ash can, the black and white ash can for what's going to happen next year or this year, as far as Bitterroot's concerned. Oh, looks so great. And yeah, man, it's just lots of comics. That's what I'm saying, man. The preseason's over. Miles Morales Spider-Man, it has Deadpool's story in it. Did you know that? Do you get Deadpool but not Miles Morales? You're fucked. I hardly order any of this book, but I've reordered them. Also, I was shorted, so I let them know about that. You better hurry up and come in and get it, though, unless you get it pulled for you. So I know I've got customers that do, so they're okay. Titans in Love. Speaking of books I barely order any of, this is the first month where I took the leap and didn't order any for the shelf. I wonder if anybody will know. The first issue of John Layman's Titans, when he started up, was pretty good. I don't have a problem with this Gar Raven story, but I don't know. It's just, I don't know if it really matters to me. And maybe I just need to read the new Teen Titans one last time and just give it up, because there have been some good incarnations of these characters, especially as they age. But it's usually the teen ones I care about the most. Nightwing in his own book, maybe some people in the Justice League, but something's got to be done. You know, the next time they do Justice League Dark, it's got to be Raven on the team. Wonder Woman number 18. My screw up was I didn't get the main cover. I've reordered it, but I don't have it. So if you're one of those main cover people, bear with me. Otherwise, I probably just pulled one of the Wonder Womans for you. Ultimate Black Panther number 13. One of those books I keep upping my numbers. I thought it had leveled off, and then people started getting it again. And it just coincides with how well Ultimate Spider-Man is doing. And when I had to rank all the different books from last year, the fact that Ultimate Spider-Man not only is a high seller, but it's getting people to buy Ultimates, Ultimate Black Panther, Ultimate X-Men. I think Ultimate Wolverine would have been doing okay already, but those people got in on it earlier than they normally get, which caused all sorts of ripples. Speaking of Ultimate Wolverine, number 2 comes out tomorrow. and the reprint of #1. So I have those for you. But yeah, if you want some Ultimate Wolverine, you know where to get it, at least for a little bit. Amazing Spider-Man 68. Why, it just seems like last week there was a brand new Amazing Spider-Man. Oh, can this thing get over quick enough? Just get to that #1 issue, please. Let's start over. I'm ready. Nightwing #123. My sales have gone down on this, but it has raised in my estimation as to what a good Nightwing book can be. I like what Dan Waters is doing. So hopefully I can get more of 122 back in, but it hasn't really affected my sales as far as this issue as the ordering is concerned, and even the next one. So if you want to get in on a good book, you better let me know about it. And lastly, Uncanny X-Men #10. We are 1 month away from the X Manhunt, which is going to go through a bunch of I guess all the X books for 1 whole month with like an epilogue book. I've upped my orders on those, but I haven't necessarily upped my orders on the lowest book all the way to the highest X-Men book. So, if you're a person that wants to get in on that X Manhunt, let me know right now. Well, not right now. You can either leave it in the comments afterwards or come in the store tomorrow. Email me. That is New Comic Book Day for tomorrow. And let me just get this down. All right. That's a lot of books. And it's making me think about all the books that are going to be coming out. One of the books that's coming out, I didn't order. And I was sitting outside on a Sunday after Dane had left. And Eugene actually showed up. And he was kind of doing some fiddling around inside. And I was sitting outside, probably had a beer, not unlike this, hoping my buddy would show up. I had been doing some guitar work outside before that. I got all my customer pull lists for next week already taken care of, with the exception of a couple people that do emails a little after the fact. And this older than me gentleman, looked pretty good shape. And an older woman, probably his age or around, come by. They're walking slowly and they say out loud to each other, I got my sunglasses on. It's a nice day. Drinking. Says something like, oh, it's a comic book store. And so I want to believe I heard Night People. And Night People, so he comes up to me and asks me about Night People. So I was kind of already ready to talk about it. And he asked if I had it. And I said, no, I don't have it. That came out long enough ago to where I wouldn't have it on the shelf anymore. And then he said something about a book coming out of it. And I said, well, actually, Night People didn't really sell very well for me. I thought it actually might, but I just don't think comic books is ready for Night People. And he said it's sold out, the first issue or the second issue. And I said, yeah, those kind of comics do normally sell out, but that's not necessarily a big thing. So I was very upfront and honest. It's a talkie day. There's no Eugene's inside, I'm just outside, the dog's not with me, just having a conversation with the person passing by. But then we started getting into talking, and he said something about talking to the writer Chris Condon, and I'm like, talking to the writer? And I'm thinking to myself, like, Night People is based off Barry Gifford's writing. Barry Gifford's a novelist. And I was looking at episode 213 of Fantastic Comics Presents, where we talk about Night People for the first time. You might want to check it out. It's towards the end of the show. Well, New Comic Book Day. And so I don't know, I'm thinking, like, well, who's this guy? Maybe he was at a show and talking to, this guy because he's like a Barry Gifford freak. And he said, so I asked him, oh, why were you talking with the writer of the comic? And he said, well, I'm Barry Gifford. And I'm all, well, I'm Yule. Nice to meet you. And I said, I'm kind of a fan. I didn't say kind of, I'm telling you, kind of a fan. I don't even think I said fan. I said, I really like your work. And if you watch the last show, I kind of said, like, some aspects of his writing I don't like. And it's true. My buddy Brent, back when I wanted to be quite the writer. What visions. Barry Gifford, is somebody I'd read. And Brent would always say, any writer that's done stuff has something to glean, there's some effort, something you can learn from them. And I get a lot from Barry Gifford. I think he's very creative and he writes really fun stuff. I just think where it becomes a little weird is like the entirety of a story. There you go. Anyway, Barry Gifford asked me, well, why do you say this book's ahead of its time? And I'm thinking in my head, how do I put this? And I said, well, the comic book industry, the people involved in it, people reading it, people writing it, people thising it, I think they're like overly sensitive and maybe always are. And I don't think a book like yours or a comic based off your stuff is going to translate to those people. And even on that 213th episode, I was saying something like that about Night People. Oh, I have it out in the living room. So I dug those up and I was looking through them, and it's like different art each issue, and it's graphic, but it's just. So I read that episode from Arise and Walk, the first chapter. And I was thinking maybe I'll read you the second chapter because it's quite a second chapter. And if you're interested in any more, you could go get Barry Gifford's work. He worked on David Lynch with Wild at Heart and over on The Lost Highway. He was talking about his book being made into a movie, La Perdida, I think, into a comic book. And then he was all, and it was just a great conversation. We were he's not really a big comic book guy. So it's not really something that I think is going to necessarily translate to the other person or to the other medium. But let me turn this off and let me take this banner down. And from Arise and Walk is the second chapter. I guess you could call it the second chapter. It's called Wet Heat. Wilbur Damfino Nougat and Gasper Dubila, I said it wrong, slumped down in their red leather easy chairs in their 2-bedroom suite at the DeSalvo Hotel on Gravier Street, drinking rum and orange juice, waiting for the 2 hookers they had ordered from the Congo Square escort service to arrive. Nougat and Dubila, pronounced W, were white men in their mid-40s in New Orleans for the annual convention or National Convention of Dental Supply Salesmen, the profession at which each of them had been laboring for the better part of 20 years. Nougat lived in Nashville, Tennessee. W in Monroe, Louisiana. They had become friends 15 years before, when they had first shared a room at the Pontchartrain in Detroit. Jesus. Since then, they had arranged to stay together whenever and wherever the dental supply salesmen of America gathered. More and more, I'm liking dark meat, said Gasper. Used to, it was only blondies stood little boy at attention. Why, I married Dolly Faye because of her yellow hair, which now can't no way tell you for sure what color it is. Changes every month or two. About you, Wilbur, what's your preference? Damfino or Care, W. Long as it's Hooters and a pair of wet heat below. She can be blue with white polka dots from hair to there. Stick it and lick it. That's the ticket. W laughed. So nice to hear what you say. She'd be after you with her magnum cocked. Only cock she got too, said Damfino. Woman size the Goodyear blimp now. You ain't seen her in a year or two. Awful how she let herself go. Sorry to hear it. Sonesta was sweet looking once. She claims it was having a fourth child did her in her figure, but it's chocolate. Sonesta can't go an hour without she's chunking chocolate. There was a knock on the door. Be our dates, Dub. Damfino popped up, went to the door and opened it. Two tall, lanky black hookers entered the room and stood together, unsmiling, in front of a large picture window opposite Gasper and W. Drinks, ladies? Asked Damfino. The hookers had tough faces. Their heavily painted skin looked waxed. Both of them were quite beautiful, however. Each had high cheekbones, full lips, and what appeared to be a perfectly sculpted figure, barely contained by a tight leopard skin dress. They wore red berets over their pressed black hair. Holy infant, chirped Gasper, springing out of his chair. Looks like we hit the right number tonight. He practically pranced around the hirelings, grinning, the contents of his handheld glass sloshing onto the burgundy carpet. We don't use alcohol, said the slightly shorter of the two prostitutes. Her voice was very deep. If you don't mind, said the other, in a more feminine tone, we'd prefer dispensing with the business side up front. 200 each, gentlemen. Wilbur Nougat and Gasper W. each extracted 2 crisp C notes from his wallet and handed them over. The prostitutes took the money and deposited it in their purses, out of which they each then withdrew a .32 caliber Smith & Wesson revolver with a silencer affixed to the barrel. They pointed the guns at the men, who froze at the sight. Take off your clothes, said the tallest hooker. Just a hot damn minute, said W. What you doing? Take off your clothes or we'll shoot you, said the other hooker. We be aimed low. The men removed their clothes and stood naked in the middle of the room. Suck his dick, the shorter hooker demanded W. Genuflect, front your partner and do him. This the buddy system, said the taller one. Gasper dropped to his knees, put his lips at the head of Damfino's penis, and closed his eyes. Suck it off, the taller one repeated. Gasper W. did his best, but Nougat's penis remained flaccid. Tears rolled freely from both men's eyes. Maybe you do it better, said the tallest tormentor. Trade places. We ain't going till the faucet starts flowing. The men did as they were told, and this time Nougat got some results. Gasper's penis hardened despite his fear. Stroke it, said one of the hookers. Damfino didn't know which, and after a few minutes he made W come. Swallow it, ordered the taller hooker. Damfino dropped his head to the floor and sobbed. Gasper stood trembling, his depleted penis shrinking rapidly. Y'all get down again, the smaller hooker said to W, who obeyed. Both men bent forward, their eyes shut tight. The hookers lifted their short dresses with their free hands, took out their penises, and urinated on Nuke and W. Surprise! The prostitute shouted, mirthful now, giggling like schoolgirls. When they had finished, the hookers straightened their skirts, replaced their guns and their bags, and walked out of the room, leaving the men wet and shivering on the hotel room floor. Outside the DeSalvo, Cleon Tone stood about 10 feet from the entrance, wearing his "Hand Yourself a Fresh Start" by Landa, a man a hand sign, and holding his hat. As the regal leopard skin-clad hookers walked by, the taller of the two dropped a $100 bill into the disgraced pastor's fedora. Before the occurrence had registered on Cleon's brain, his benefactors had climbed into a taxi and sped away. The Reverend Tone stared at the glowing C-note, shook his head, and said aloud, "The good Lord got him some sundry damn messengers, don't he?" There you go. That was pretty funny, I thought. And that's why I don't think comics are ready for any of Barry Gifford's work, who came by and we talked. And I got his email. I'm going to let him know when I get his book in. And if that was funny to you and you want to see some other murder and stuff going on in a comic book, you might want to check out Night People. And I'll have it signed too. All right, let's go to comments after that. Let's see here. Walk says, I've been reading X-Men. All right, good. Your turf is mine. Good night, Yule. See you this weekend, everyone. Good. Don't let anybody know about this. What the hell is Yule reading? I told you. Barry Gifford. Coming of age tale. Beautiful story. LOL. Amen. Yeah, I wanted to be a writer one time, and not just of comic books. In fact, when I was young, I wanted to write comic books. But as I got older, I got a little bit more snobby about it, and I wanted to write stuff. You know what I mean? All right. We'll be ordering you one. Don't you worry about that. And I mean, you know, Barry Gifford's always on the tip of the tongue. Americans for me were mostly on the tip of my tongue. I like the ones that have the short sentences, that write interesting stuff. You know, the Hemingways and the Raymond Carvers. I think Barry Gifford's in there. But last week, and I forgot to mention it, Tom Robbins died. And it was funny. It was like with my friends also. We got into this really big thing where we were trying to write these very long sentences. Stupid. Just trying to write a coherent, long, unending sentence, you know, and like entire first paragraphs of just like sentences. I always felt that Tom Robbins, he always had the very great first sentences in the novels. Like you read one of his sentences, his very first sentence in the book, and you know if you're going to like it or not. What are your weekend hours, Yule? Matt, I am open Saturday and Sunday, 12 to 5 p.m. I am there later than 5 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday, but Sunday is a little bit more of, I got to put books out for next week. So I can't stay open too late there because I have to start doing the work. Having said that, you know, if you give me a call, usually till 6, I don't see the register out. There you go. So let's see. Who did I meet? I met Barry Gifford. Best of last week, New Comic Day, Wrestling Minute, The Big Sale, What's in the Box. I did it all. I talked to you guys. You know what? Let's see what you all said about the poll. Let's see here. I'm going to close the poll. Yes, 80% of you think that we can actually get to 100. I'm very excited to see if that's true. It's going to be on the people that watch this afterwards, so we'll see. Or you got to tell people. Excellent. I think that went pretty well. I can't think of anything else to say. I'm sure. Oh, you know what? I do have one other thing. Hold on a sec. This is chill. But, stick around. It's fine. I already did my favorites, but these are my real favorites. Not only the people that join the show as members, it's like $3.99 a month, but also anybody that has helped. I mean, obviously, as a store, all my customers are very important to me. But so many of these people here are customers of mine or former customers of mine. Only one relative. It's pretty good. Have helped me out over the years. $5 a month might not mean a lot to you, or $10 a month, or maybe even more, depending on some people. But it's nice. There's some love. Somehow, money makes you money. I'm joking. For the price of a cup of coffee, I don't give you nothing on Patreon, but your Patreon money helps me afford the shitty camera. Gotta work on my lights. That's what it is. I shouldn't even have said something. I knew it was lights. So that'll be the next thing. But it's helped the store out quite a bit. Obviously, there was COVID during that time. We've had bills from the old store. We're out of the debt. There's a little bit more, but I'm not asking. It's a way to be seen, because if you don't maybe partake in comics or need comics anymore in your life, but you appreciate this, or just you're a pal of Yule. You're a fan of stores. You're a fan of comic book stores, because it might not be like a bunch of comic stores in the future. You got to actually go in, or support them in other ways, because you want to be seen, and you don't want to be like this guy.
My last name is Costanza. That's Italian. So you and I are kind of like countrymen. Huh? Paisanos!
$6.50 your change.
Ah, yes. And I always take care of my paisanos. So here's a little something.
Antonio! Si! Vieni qua! Questa miserabile patrona!
How crispy do fries need to be if you say you want them crispy? I was thinking about that. I got some not crispy fries. It was bad. It was like worse than the ones you cook in the oven, So sad. Thanks everybody for joining us today. We'll see you next week. I'll definitely have a show. Definitely have another small box that's going to make it into the big boxes of things that are going to be in the sale. I hope some of them are exciting you, and if they are, you might want to email me at the email, or come in the store and let me know. And if there's something you want me to try and pull out that I might have that you have heard about, you might want to let me know about that. But March 23rd is when that's going to happen. And then, of course, the March 31st is when I'm doing the thing at the other place. Oh, The Escapist. What have I gotten myself into? See you next week.
Hey, psst, come here. I swear, you fell asleep because the crews were on coffee, right? So we come out here and he fell asleep. Can you see him? Get a shot of him, eh? Anyway, forgot the opening. Kuru, cuckoo. I don't know how it goes, eh? It's the Great White North, and my brother's sleeping. And what we're gonna talk about today is how to make a guy go when he's sleeping, right? And what you do is, when he's sleeping, you put his pinky into warm beer, right? And it just makes him go, right? So hopefully we'll show you how. So just in about a minute or so, he's gonna be.
Hey! Take off, eh?
Okay, good day.
Oh,
Welcome. We're just starting the show.
Oh.
Good day. Welcome to Canadian Corner. We started the show. Go to. Today we're going to talk about.
Jeez, I gotta go, eh?
Where?
Toity. What? What are you laughing at?
Okay.
You should have warned me, eh? So I had time to go before we do it.
You just woke up. Why don't you have a beer?
I'm afraid that'll make things worse. Where is my beer? Hey, you horked it, eh? Well, give me some.
Today. Oh, geez. We're out of time. So So, good day.
Did they shorten our show?
Yeah, we got cut back to just a little ways.
What?
They
I gotta go, eh?
Okay. Oh.
I'll see you later. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez, I knocked over some gear, eh?
Got him.